Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to discuss Krypton, episode entitled Hope. Hope referring to the sigil on the or the family crest of the L family. The what appears to be the S on the chest of Superman. In Kryptonian, some have also described it as the number 8 and not the letter S, but basically the going theme with the word for hope seems to be that symbol on the L family's crest, right, or their sigil. So this episode, whereas I thought we were going to deal with the cliffhanger we got from last week, which was Adam Strange going back to, it looks like Earth, and seeing everybody kind of frozen in time, not able to move. It didn't go back to there, so Adam Strange's kind of story is kind of left off, and it dealt more with the Kryptonians coming to understand that Brainiac is still very much alive, and that his fall from the Genesis chamber wasn't enough to kill him, and Zod is basically still going after the Doomsday weapon, or Doomsday himself, to use him as Brainiac. Now, the only problem, with Doomsday is once he gets going, he's going to destroy pretty much everything in sight. General Zod's plan is to cross that bridge when they get there. So, as he explains, Doomsday's gonna always go after the biggest target, the strongest opponent. We've seen in comic books and various stories of Doomsday, he always seeks out to destroy Superman, the most powerful being on the planet, before he levels the rest of the planet. So General Zod's plan is, throughout the course of this, attempt to deal with Doomsday after he deals with Brainiac. Of course, at this point, they don't know if they have a plan or if the plan will work at all, but they're reasoning that it's better than doing nothing at all. With the direct doom of Brainiac, definitely it's going to come their way at that point in time, where it is a clear and present danger. So I like this episode, guys. Like I said, every week this episode's gotten, even better. But keeping on, speaking of Zod and Zod trying to release Doomsday from his from the holding cell that is basically put together and being guarded by these Sertonians or Kryptonians. I can't seemingly remember their names again, but they worship the ice goddess of Krypton. Zod discovers some way through this that he is an L himself and a Zod. Now, so obviously we get to learn that Segel and Lyta are the true parentage relating to Zod. I don't recall that ever been. I've seen a lot of different plays in the comic books with Zod being related to the L's. There was a movie released, animated movie not many years ago, where Superman is actually the product of Laura and Zod, and not Laura and Jor-El, right? Not Superman's father, but Zod is actually parents is Superman, right? So you get this mix of the Zod and the L's there. But apparently this is what happens with Zod. This would make Zod and Jor-El brothers, and that's kind of interesting to look at, because Jor-El and Zod have always shared this very interesting connected relationship where they were both admired each other at some point in Kryptonian history, but they come to this bridge where they have to make a decision. So I don't know if this is played out in the comic books with Jor-El and Zod being brothers ever, but it's done in this show. And I think it worked pretty well, but Zod pretty much figures out he doesn't even need Seg-El to help him open Doomsday containment chamber or the holding cell rather. You know, as Doomsday is locked away in, you know, he's so dangerous. He's locked away twice. He's first in this containment in this holding cell room, and then he's locked within an ancient containment cell. So Zod's able to open the doors we got to see, and with just his blood, the blood of both the Zod house and the El house, as Seg-El has decided not to help him. But it's a lot more than that going on in the story this week. There's this rift between the Zods and Els. It's always been in Superman lore. There's always been this, there've been these, how they start out together and they split. And now we get to see this kind of played out between Seg-El and Lyta Zod as well, whereas they're very connected and close all throughout the series. Now all of a sudden betrayal has entered into their relationship. Now Lyta's doing things without telling Seg-El behind his back. And I think a lot of this stems from, as we got to see earlier in the episode, he seems to be losing confidence in their mission. He's starting to agree with Adam Strange more and more, as Adam's saying that the focus needs to be on his grandson being the force that's going to save do so many great things throughout the universe later in the future, and that maybe these course of events need to happen as they are. And whereas it seems like Lyta and the rest of the Kryptonian rebellion against Brainiac or trying to stop Brainiac is still on the course of trying to save Krypton, whereas it seems like Seg-El is losing hope in that. And I think Lyta seems like she has to now fulfill her genetic role of being a defender of Krypton, in whichever way that means, or to whatever extreme that is. And that's why it seemingly she's betrayed Seg-El, and now they have this giant rift where Seg-El only feels like he can trust now Nyssa Vex, and they now have their moment. Nyssa. Also very interesting is we learn about these clones that exist in the Genesis Chamber. Information, I imagine, to kind of protect the Kryptonian bloodline. The Codex is mentioned. We remember that there was a similar thing going on in Man of Steel, where Superman had the Codex. The Codex was implanted within him, so he carried all the information of the Kryptonians within him, within his body, within his cells. And so it seems like a similar idea there going on with the Genesis Chamber, as Jack Sur is trying to get all this information from Darren Vex, who uses his survival skills to escape. As we got to see. So I really enjoyed this episode. A lot of interesting information came up. A great fight scene with Jaina and with General Zod. Speaking again of betrayals, Lyta is certainly fulfilling her role as defender and protector of Krypton, in a sense, in that she's willing to betray everybody to keep going with General Zod and her mission to try to stop Brainiac and save Krypton, to the point where she even shoots her mother, Jaina, in this fight to the death between her and Zod, as it has they're at opposing ends. And the way that the Sagittari or the Zod family deals with this is they're not fighting for Primus, and they can't have any insurrection in their midst, so now they're battling out. Now Jaina's really badass because she's kicking Zod's butt, and it's clear that she's stronger than him. She's a better fighter. As we've seen her get down in many previous episodes, so we get to learn she's the best fighter. Looks like she's about to get the best of Zod, and Lyta shoots him and stops her. And shoots her pretty bad. And so, Lyta's on a course of no return. I don't know if she's ever going to be able to get back in their good graces after these levels of betrayal that she's doing. This could be, I had a little problem with that. And that the writing, they moved so quick with Lyta. I know it's only so many minutes in the show, but could have took a moment to let us see that she's somewhat struggling with this, because it's just kind of out of her character to move so quick into these decisions that she's done, right? There's no reflection there. There's no reflection to the audience that, hey, this is a struggle, but this is something I feel I have to do. But I'm under the assumption that's the place she's at. And another big situation, we get a kind of Nyssa brokering this deal with the remaining Sagittarius, and Segel, brokering a deal with Black Zero that, hey, our forces are limited here. We have to come together, and together perhaps we can stop Brainiac. They get that going. Brainiac has some cerebral powers well beyond theirs, where he gets them turning the guns on themselves and shoot it. So he obviously has some type of psychic ability. And if you're somewhat weak-minded, you cannot fight Brainiac. So they kill each other. And Segel's in a lot of trouble. He's levitating him to himself. So Brainiac's very psychically powerful. And I imagine from conquering all these planets and collecting all these information, he's learned a great deal here in order to do all these various feats. But Segel saved by Nyssa, as we got to see. She stabs him with the key to the fortress, right? As we knew Segel gave her that key to protect with everything that was going down. He didn't want to, lose. He wanted her to go off to Argo City. And everything was great. And of course, the big final moment is, after they think they've destroyed Brainiac by breaking him up or stabbing him, Nyssa with the Force of Solitude key, he reforms, and we get to see the comic book Brainiac. We get to see Brainiac. It looked like he looks exactly in the comics, and I liked how Brainiac looks. The best version of Brainiac on TV so far, no doubt. It's better than Smallville's version, obviously better than the Supergirl version, Brainiac 5. And so that all worked well. I really enjoyed this episode. I wish we could have saw what was going on with Adam Strange, but I imagine they're saving that for the last episode coming up here. So guys, enjoyed the episode. Tell me what you think about it. Tell me if you're on board with Krypton, and if you feel it's really done a 180-degree turnaround and where it started from, and if you think it's become as great of a show as I think it is. Guys, if you like content like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and until next time, take care.